Tom Holland found himself in a situation that felt almost too surreal to believe, even for someone who has spent years swinging through skyscrapers as one of the most recognizable superheroes in modern cinema. What began as a routine press tour for Spider-Man Brand New Day quickly transformed into something far more chaotic, entertaining, and unexpectedly personal. The atmosphere around the promotion was already charged, with fans, media, and production teams moving between cities like Rome, Madrid, and Barcelona, all of them following the global rollout of the latest chapter in the Spider-Man saga. But nothing quite prepared anyone for the unusual event that would unfold behind the scenes. A Spider-Man lookalike contest judged under bizarrely personal circumstances, just days after confirmation of his private marriage to Tom Holland and Zendaya. The public fascination around the couple had reached another peak. The press tour was already under intense scrutiny, not only because of the film, but because fans were eager to catch glimpses of the couple's rare public moments together. When they appeared in Rome, the internet lit up with images showing Zendaya in a striking outfit inspired by the iconic 1997 Versace aesthetic, a fashion moment that immediately went viral. It was elegant, confident, and effortlessly commanding, reinforcing her status as one of the most influential style figures of her generation. Meanwhile, Tom Holland maintained his usual charm, balancing professionalism with a sense of playful unpredictability that fans have come to expect from him. But the real twist came later in Madrid, where a promotional event took an unexpected turn. The production team had organized a Spider-Man lookalike contest, inviting fans and stunt performers to dress up as Spider-Man variants from across different interpretations of the character. It was meant to be a lighthearted segment of the press tour, a way to engage audiences and celebrate the many versions of the beloved superhero. However, there was an unannounced detail that made the event far more intriguing. One of the judges was none other than Zendaya herself. The idea of Zendaya sitting in judgment over a room full of Spider-Man impersonators added an almost comedic tension to the entire setup. The contestants arrived in carefully crafted suits, each attempting to replicate the agility, posture, and energy associated with Spider-Man. Some stretched before entering, rolling their shoulders and shaking out their arms as if preparing for a real stunt audition. Others bounced on their feet, mimicking web-slinging motions and practicing their best friendly neighborhood Spider-Man poses. The air was filled with excitement, nervous laughter, and a sense of playful competition. At the center of it all was Tom Holland, though not immediately recognized by everyone in the room. In a deliberate twist, he had joined the competition in disguise, blending in with the other contestants to observe the reactions and experience the contest from the inside. This decision alone turned the event into something closer to a hidden camera performance than a standard promotional appearance. The production team kept the secret tightly guarded, allowing the moment to unfold naturally without interference. As the contest began, Zendaya sat with the other judges, observing each participant carefully. Her expressions shifted between amusement and thoughtful evaluation as she watched each Spider-Man variant perform their brief demonstrations. Some contestants focused heavily on acrobatics, attempting flips and exaggerated combat stances. Others leaned into humor, imitating Spider-Man's witty personality rather than his physicality. The diversity of interpretations made the judging both entertaining and surprisingly difficult. One contestant stepped forward with remarkable confidence, stretching his arms and rotating his wrists with precision. "Did you stretch?" Someone from the panel asked jokingly. "You a big stretcher?" The contestant nodded enthusiastically, clearly ready for action. "You ready?" came another voice. The contestant responded with a confident stance, raising his hands into a web shooting pose. The room responded with laughter and applause as he delivered a surprisingly convincing performance. Another contestant followed, focusing heavily on the physical details of the suit. The judges commented on the craftsmanship, noting the finger detailing and texture work that made the costume stand out. "Nice," someone said from the panel. "Oh, easy." The contestant seemed encouraged, leaning further into the performance with exaggerated superhero movements that drew cheers from the audience. As the rounds continued, the competition grew more intense. Each participant tried to outdo the previous one, not just in costume design, but in embodying the essence of Spider-Man. The energy in the room shifted from lighthearted fun to something closer to genuine competition. Even Zendaya, known for her composed public presence, appeared increasingly engaged in the process, leaning forward as she evaluated each performance. Tom Holland, still in disguise, observed everything closely. There was a quiet amusement in the way he watched the contestants attempt to replicate the character he had embodied for years. At times, he seemed to struggle with maintaining his anonymity, especially when certain poses or movements mirrored his own instinctive portrayal of Spider-Man. But he remained committed to the experience, blending in as just another competitor among many. Eventually, the moment arrived when Zendaya had to make a decision. The finalists stood side by side, each having proven their interpretation of Spider-Man through movement, presence, and costume authenticity. The tension in the room was palpable. Even the audience seemed to hold its breath as Zendaya carefully considered her choice. The judges exchanged brief remarks, weighing the performances against one another. Finally, Zendaya spoke. "This is a difficult decision," she said, her tone measured but decisive. The contestants shifted slightly, anticipation building. Then she continued, selecting the winner. The announcement was met with applause, cheers, and a mix of celebration and playful disappointment from those who did not win. The winning contestant reacted with disbelief and excitement, clearly overwhelmed by the moment. It was then that the twist fully revealed itself. Tom Holland, having participated under disguise, was identified and gently exposed as part of the contest's hidden element. The room erupted into laughter and applause as the realization spread. He had not only participated, but had also, in a sense, competed against impersonators of his own iconic role. The irony of the situation was not lost on anyone present. When it was confirmed that he had not won the contest, Tom reacted with a mixture of mock disbelief and genuine amusement. "Against all odds, you've lost," someone joked from the panel. He responded with a smile and a resigned nod. "Yes, I have," he said, embracing the moment with humor rather than disappointment. The audience erupted again, appreciating the playful nature of the entire setup. The moment took on an even more theatrical tone as applause and cheering filled the space. The energy in the room was celebratory rather than competitive. It felt less like a loss and more like a performance designed to entertain everyone involved. Zendaya's reaction was one of amusement and admiration, clearly enjoying the unexpected twist of watching her husband participate in such an unusual experiment. "He was remarkable," one of the judges commented. "A remarkable level." The statement was met with agreement from others, reinforcing the idea that even in disguise, Tom had naturally embodied the character in a way that stood out among the contestants. Another comment followed, half joking and half serious. "Stunt doubles should be shaking in their boots everywhere." The room laughed, acknowledging the playful exaggeration. At one point, someone noted a particularly impressive contestant described as a British Spider-Man from Barcelona, adding another layer of humor to the already surreal situation. The blending of accents, origins, and interpretations of Spider-Man created a mosaic of performances that reflected the character's global cultural impact. As the event concluded, Tom removed elements of his disguise, fully revealing himself to the audience. The reaction was immediate and enthusiastic, with applause and cheers filling the space once again. "See, you can keep the mask, please," someone joked, referencing the playful nature of the contest. Tom laughed, shaking his head slightly as he accepted the humorous defeat. "I lost my own competition," he said with a grin, acknowledging the irony of the entire situation. The crowd responded warmly, appreciating his willingness to participate fully in the experience without taking himself too seriously. Zendaya joined in the applause, clearly entertained by how the event had unfolded from start to finish. As the moment settled, the energy shifted from competition to celebration. The Spider-Man Lookalike contest, initially intended as a light promotional activity for Spider-Man Brand New Day, had evolved into a memorable behind-the-scenes story that fans would soon circulate widely. It combined humor, surprise, and personality in a way that felt authentic to the spirit of the franchise itself. The press tour continued afterward, moving on to other cities like Barcelona, where the couple's presence continued to attract attention. Yet the story of the Madrid contest lingered, becoming one of the most talked about moments of the entire promotional cycle. It was not just about who won or lost, but about the playful interaction between actors, fans, and the character that had brought them all together. In the end, the event served as a reminder that even global movie stars can step into moments of unpredictability and humor, allowing themselves to become part of the audience's joy rather than standing entirely apart from it. And for Tom Holland, the experience of losing a Spider-Man lookalike contest while secretly being Spider-Man himself became one of the most ironically fitting stories of his career, blending performance, identity, and entertainment into a single unforgettable moment.